Despite the excellent driving and off-road performance, there were enough problems with the VW Touareg released before the 2007 restyling. Has anything changed in fresh copies? The more functions an object performs, the more difficult it is to ensure its reliability. What can we say about a high-class car, a universal SUV in the full sense of the term? Yes, at one time there were a lot of horror stories about the Touareg. Well, so what? Can he let the owner down out of the blue, so much so that the matter ends with the tow truck call? Yes, but the likelihood of this event in post-styling copies is quite small, especially if they are serviced by competent specialists. Let's start with motors. Gasoline 3.2L, 241 horsepower, is notorious for problems in the timing drive. Its chain can gnaw the gears to zero. And this happens even with relatively small runs. Petrol 4.2L, 310 to 350 horsepower, did not become popular with us, as well as a couple of monsters, diesel V10 5.0L, 313 horsepower, and petrol V12 6.0L, 420 horsepower. Both are extremely expensive to maintain. Almost any work is associated with the dismantling of the power unit. In addition, the V10 turbines have to be changed much more often than we would like. The popular 2.5L, 174 horsepower, diesel engine wears out over time overrunning clutches for auxiliary drives. Because of this, the generator stops working. The jammed clutch breaks the air conditioning compressor. As for the fuel equipment, problems with it are typical mainly for cars from the regions. The 3.0L V6 diesel engine that appeared after restyling in the 220 horsepower modification. With almost flawless, but with a more powerful version of 240 horsepower. Occasionally there were troubles. It uses an injection pump of a modified design, which, for unknown reasons, could start to drive chips from its plunger pair into the entire fuel system. It is impossible to understand that the process has begun without an autopsy. That's when the check engine lights up and the engine stops starting. Then everything will become clear. The repair includes the replacement of all fuel equipment, including pump injectors, and flushing of lines, preferably the fuel tank. Restoration work costs more than 100,000 rubles. The FSI 3.6-liter gasoline engine, 280 horsepower, did not light up with troubles. This, perhaps, is all of the negative and expensively eliminated. Problems with automatic transmissions are known on copies of the first years of production. They were manifested by shock inclusion of the fourth and fifth gears. The reason is overheating of the valve body, either due to the oil system thermostat hanging in the closed position, or due to a clogged radiator. It's simple. Imagine a sandwich of 4 radiators. How much air will reach the last of them if poplar fluff and dirt lie in each layer? Transfer boxes at first flew like migratory birds. The reason for this was the lock control motor. In post-styling machines, this defect has been completely eliminated. Another nuisance occurred only in diesel instances, when all transmission modes lit up on the dashboard and the transfer case stopped working. This is due to the laying of the bundle in the zone of increased vibration. Under its influence, the corrugation of the bundle is frayed in about 3 years, and moisture begins to get under it. The gearboxes are reliable. The same is true for the anthers and seals. Unless, after an off-road walk, the oil seal of the automatic torque converter may leak. The following is known about the suspension. On cars from Europe with a mileage of well over 100, parts are still factory-made. The conclusion is banal. The service life of suspension elements depends solely on how and where to ride. But in general, the chassis is quite strong, and the stabilizer bushings, wheel bearings, changed without replacing the hub, are mere trifles by modern standards. In modifications with air suspension, after restyling, the fittings cease to be consumable items. For a 3-year anniversary, a car with pneumatics should be presented with a compressor repair kit for 5,000 rubles. Otherwise, after a while, she will ask for a new compressor, which will cost 10 times more. In the early years, the upload of new software was carried out at almost every MOT. Now there are no issues with the software. But that doesn't mean the Touareg is okay in terms of contact science. For example, the CAN bus connections under the driver's mat are leaky, and if moisture gets in there regularly, they will oxidize. As a result, all the lights on the dashboard are lit, and the machine selector remains in the locked position. It seems that the motor is working. You can go to the service, but it does not work. So it's better to know in advance how the selector is unlocked. Saving on washer fluid leads to annoying embarrassment. If it freezes, Then when the rear wiper is turned on, the line undocks at the passenger's feet or on the ceiling. There are numerous complaints about knocking in the rear of the cabin. The culprits are the plastic bushings for attaching the seats. Like most VAG models, the wiper trapezoid shaft jams after 4 to 5 years of operation in Russia. There were practically no questions to the brake system before restyling, but after that they appeared. To reduce unsprung masses, the calipers and pistons on fresh Touaregs are made from aluminum. In our conditions, the pistons oxidize and do not move back when replacing the pads. The VW concern is very loyal to warranty cars. Everything changes according to the better more principle. But after the end of the warranty, you should not build illusions that you will have to visit the service and spend money only on scheduled maintenance.